And I don't understand how I can care that much about somebody and they can just like write me off the second I say something they don't like. My mom could write me off so easily. And like, I don't know why I'm so easy to leave. And I feel like no one's ever gonna stay.
Dear my worst heartbreak, I've been thinking of things to title this and to call this, and you weren't my first love, but this one hurt the most. This one stung the most. This was my first adult relationship where you think you could spend your life with that person. And a month ago, 2 weeks ago, I didn't think I was going to heal. I didn't think there would be light at the end of the tunnel. And this was definitely the most down someone like me gets. But if there's one thing that I will say, is the only way that I know how to heal is to turn my pain into art and to be productive with what I'm feeling, or else I get into a super deep dark place, and I wasn't going back there. So, dear first heartbreak, I love you so much. I'm pretty sure I always will. The love I have for you isn't something that goes away, but I've accepted you're not good for me now. We were so great in the beginning. I remember coming home and my dad, you had just gotten me flowers. You had surprised me and left them in my bike basket. And my dad said, wow, if this keeps up, I think you found the one. And I remember that night, and I remember falling asleep with that giddy feeling in my heart and just knowing that you were the one and just being so sure of it. You came into my life when all I wanted was to be loved. All I wanted was a family and to be loved and to feel whole. Every time you left, it shattered me.
And like, I don't know why I'm so easy to leave. And I feel like no one's ever gonna stay.
And the way you healed or took care of things was to run. I pushed you away when I started to get nervous. In your head, I know you have peace with us not being together because I did push you away. I 100% did. But I pushed you away because I wanted to know that I was worth it to hold on to. After losing my mom, because she didn't want a relationship with me anymore, and after losing so many people that I had cared so deeply about, my defense mechanism became pushing people away so that I knew they wanted to stay. I thought we had such a deep love, something that could not be broken, but it's every time I tried to push you away, you left and never tried to stay. I think none of this is on you. At the end of the day, I broke my own heart. I was waiting for someone to choose me, and I never chose myself. Ever since growing up, I didn't know how to choose myself. So you had a lot on your plate to try to fill my own heart when I hadn't filled it myself. It was on one of the many nights I spent crying alone in my own bed, wondering how I let Mr. Right get away and what was wrong with me, that I realized he wasn't going to choose me, this wasn't going to work, and so I needed to choose me. One of the most painful forms of self-love is letting go of something you want to fight for, and as much as I'm a fighter, I knew that my fight wasn't to make someone else love me and to convince someone else that I was worth loving. My fight was to convince myself that I was worth loving and choose myself. It was on that day that I decided I was going to heal. The only way I knew how to heal was, one, to create a project and document the whole thing, because I knew that if I saw myself making progress, it would be easier for me to move on. The second thing that I did was I worked on myself and I loved myself and I made crazy goals, because if there's one thing I knew about the way that I function and feel about myself, it's that when I'm productive, I feel better about myself and I feel accomplished. So my goal for the next 30 days was to become as productive as possible. And this created a lot of stress in my life for a little bit. And I did run myself in circles until I was too tired to cry myself to sleep at night. And it wasn't this beautiful, effortless thing, and healing is weird. It's so weird. Some days you feel great, and I felt so good, and other days it's fresh and it hurts and you don't think it's going to get better, but then the next day's easier, and that's, I think, where time heals it all comes into play. I started running, which is so weird, but I decided if I could fall in love with myself and take care of myself, that it would be easier to heal. So I started running. I ran 4 miles every day for a month, and I decided to wake up at 4 a.m. And I woke up at 4 a.m. every day for a month, and that made it easier for me because then I was tired earlier and my anxiety wasn't as bad at night. I started training with my personal trainer 5 days a week. I took up boxing to get more cardio in and to get that competitive energy that I have fulfilled. I did so much to take care of myself, and one thing I always grasped onto is I'm so heartbroken and I'm in this such a depressed state where like breathing and getting out of bed is a challenge, that I wanted to make myself excited about life again. You know the difference between feeling sad and depressed? Like, I feel sad and my heart hurts, but I also feel just like depressed and don't have interest in doing anything. But I'm going to push myself through it, because if I just let myself shut down, I'm just gonna feel bad about myself. And so I'm pushing through it. I'm going to get this workout done. I have another training session after that, and I have 4 board and trains, so I need to work with them too. We have a lot we're doing. I feel super awful right now. Awful and want to cry, but we're not, and we're gonna push through it. So next time you see me, I'll be working out. We're working on ourselves 2020, and then they get insecure.
And I'm getting new hair on Monday.
Good. Guys hate when women start working on themselves because now they can't control them anymore.
Oh, 100%.
Okay?
So bad bitches only look
That's
good.
right. So you guys keep working on yourselves. Don't ever let a man control you. Never, ever.
That's the intro to the podcast.
keep very near and dear to my heart. It's this tweet I saw that somebody tweeted and said, remember that feeling when you would go to bed and you would have a field trip at school in the morning, so you would sleep with your clothes next to the bed already picked out and you couldn't sleep and kept waking up because you were so excited to live life the next day and for your field trip? What happened to that? And I decided to start living life trying to get that feeling again, and I've accomplished it. And I've done some crazy things. Like, healing was weird. For me, healing was like working extra so I could put more into my savings because I felt better about myself, that I was gonna create my own life with my own house and it was going to be my thing. Healing was flying to Chicago to get a puppy because I wanted something to take my mind off of all of it and to create a new project for my business. Healing was growing my business and deciding I was going to take YouTube seriously and making 2 videos a week. Healing was documenting my experience so that I knew that I was progressing and that there was a reason for this. I might have taken this all to the extreme. I don't think you have to work out 5 days a week, hard with a trainer, box multiple days, run 4 miles every single day, work 12-hour days. I don't think that's necessary, but it was for me. And as far as getting over someone, I don't think you get over someone ever completely. I think you come to terms with the fact that it wasn't right. And the one thing that even now when I get sad or hurt about us not working out, that has given me so much peace and clarity, is someone can check off all the boxes. Someone can literally be 100% right for you. But the main thing in a relationship that's important is that that person chooses you. And at the end of the day, my worst heartbreak didn't choose me. So I have peace with the fact that we're not together, because even though I was convinced for so long that this was my right person, I wasn't chosen. And yeah, it sucks. It's hard to come to terms with, but once you do, you sleep a lot better at night. And I hope you all find somebody that chooses you. And until then, I hope you choose yourself.